Is up, we're back, and just letting you know I can barely see through this. And we're reacting to 1,000 Ways You Can Die. So it's pretty brutal. If you don't like violence, click off.
A sports bar during the NFL season can get pretty crazy.
It can.
But then there are fantasy football fanatics like STANGER, who take crazy to a whole new level.
Yeah, they do.
Take it, Brady, take it! That's 4 points for me! Yes!
STANGER had only 2 friends, the television remote and the online program that tabulated his fantasy football points.
Yes! 7 points!
I start out going to a bar where every single thing is playing, so even if it's a commercial in one game, I'm watching 3 of my players score touchdowns and return kicks in another game. You may have your religions, I do too, and mine is 300-pound men running into each other day in and day out.
STANGER's fantasy
I'd rather bet
addiction
on the
took
horse
every-
race.
That's -2 points! Come on, Vic!
Who are you rooting for?
Vic!
He bounced around from TV to TV, keeping tabs on his virtual team.
Come on, Vic! Not here. Redeem yourself! We're throwing the Dallas game. I got Jason Wynn playing.
Until he pissed off the wrong person.
Oh yeah, you did.
STANGER wasn't much of a fighter. And while the tables turned,
The tables have turned.
he was trying to catch a few more plays. But a sports fan like STANGER should know.
Dude, this is the
Never
best
take
way
your
for
eye
that
off
to
the
do
real
it
action.
wrong.
A piece of the shattered beer mug caught a soft spot in STANGER's neck.
The sharp piece of glass flying through the air would have lacerated this gentleman's
This
neck,
stuff
cutting not
actually
only the
happened,
carotid
though.
artery, but the jugular vein. Now you've cut off both the supply to the brain and from the brain, draining the blood from the brain out quickly. He could have easily lost 3 liters of blood within minutes and died.
STANGER lived in a fantasy world where nothing matters but touchdowns, interceptions, and yards per carry. But then he got mugged by reality. Mark it down, STANGER. You've been sacked.
Yeah, that's better, don't it? Ready for the next. Oh, and this is
When Steve and
the
Jerry
black
got picked up
mask
for
is so
grand
like y'all
theft
don't see my
auto,
face.
they were sentenced
and I
to
can
60
really
days
figure
on
out what the mask on.
Soon enough, they were young, dumb, and surrounded by dumb.
Yep,
Hey, horse.
Hey,
pretty weird, and that's kind of rude to call
Typically,
them
a work
dumb.
farm would house 80 to 120 offenders at any given time. The most successful offenders are those that are willing to be held accountable for their crimes. For those offenders that can't even complete the work program, usually the court will come back and sentence them to something more drastic.
For these screw-ups, life down on the farm
Yo, you could have killed me with that.
was a life-threatening situation. It wouldn't be a farm story without a farmer's daughter.
What is this? It's one of those milkers.
She shows up just in time to keep the 2 delinquents from hurting themselves.
Hi, guys. Please don't touch that. That's not a toy.
When you don't know what you're doing, the farm can be just as dangerous as the street.
Man, forget the lemonade. I want some milk, mama. Come on, come on. Come
What?
on, let me just have a little
No,
bit.
that's not-
No big deal. Look, I'm gonna do it to myself.
When the captive bolt gun is placed against the forehead of a cow, the pressure involved in moving this bolt into the brain of the cow through a half-inch of skull
bad for
is
the
about 100
cows.
pounds per square inch. If it's used on a person, the concussion of it is just massive, and that could kill somebody, but definitely the bolt, which is about the size of your finger with a point on it,
It got him
going in
yeah,
about
because
2
the
inches
heart
into
is
your
like
chest
on the left
would
side.
definitely hit your heart area and kill you almost instantly.
I always
Hear the
thought
one
it was like
about
right
the 2
here.
juveniles who were
Like
sentenced
the
to
heart
work
was right
release
here,
on the
but
farm.
actually
I'll
like
cut your balls off.
They messed
somewhere
around
like
and
right
threatened the
here.
farmer's daughter until one of them
Yeah,
accidentally
but,
killed himself with a cattle bolt pistol. Ah, that's a good one. In 2010, there were over 1,300 bank robberies in the United States,
Got it.
resulting in millions in losses. Hands on top of your head! But none was as bizarre as this one. Minutes earlier, a nervous-looking guy named Nick quietly got in line to see the teller.
I don't trust
Nick was no ordinary customer.
Hi there, sir. How are you today?
Right,
I have a problem. Look, somebody strapped this around my neck, okay? And they have a remote. And then if they tell me if I don't fill this bag full of money and bring it to them, that they are going to detonate it and we are all going to die. All right?
Okay.
Most bank robberies today are done by demand. The written note is very, very popular. That is a result of having better surveillance so that the people that rob them are trying to remain unnoticed, unlike the old bank robberies that we think of, the John Dellinger and the Jesse James, etc., where it tended to be more of a takeover bank robbery.
What is this? This isn't enough. If I take this to them, they're going to kill me. Go back to the vault and get more.
All I can see this mask is like blurry.
An expert bomb maker, Nick came up with this crazy plan. If they thought he was a helpless pawn in someone else's scheme, the bank would have to let him walk out with the cash. For authenticity, he wrapped his neck in a real bomb. It would be the perfect alibi if he got caught.
Here's a block of C4 I brought in. They're usually in 1.1-pound blocks. Pretty moldable. You can mold it into almost anything. Actually pretty safe until you add one of these, which is a blasting cap. This sets that off. Without this, you could hit it with a hammer. You could light it on fire. No problem.
Just go back to the vault.
No problem.
Hurry up!
But things didn't turn out as Nick had planned. Someone had called the cops.
Look, I have a bomb. It's strapped around my neck, okay? It's locked in. I can't get it out, all right?
Just stay calm.
They're gonna blow it.
While the cops tried to defuse the explosive situation,
You have to let me take it.
the freaked-out teller panicked and took off.
We are all dead. Please.
She popped the lock on her car. No one's gonna die.
If someone died,
Nick's head
no one is gonna die.
popped off his
Perfect
shoulders.
timing. And kind of a foreshadow.
Teller's keyless entry system was on the same frequency as the ignition on Nick's homemade bomb. It sent an electrical signal to the blasting cap wired to the plastique. The explosive chemical RDX exploded, taking Nick's head with it. He was dead instantly.
I like how that no one's gonna die. And someone died.
Roger that.
Roger that. I withdrawn. Jeez. I don't know what.
If you're one of those pinheads who believe everyone should be carrying guns, chewing tobacco, and hunting down illegal aliens, you're gonna love this ass wipe.
Yes, sir. 12 gauge. That's my deal right there.
Say hello to George Pucker.
Ready?
George is a member of that illegal alien-hating vigilante group, the Minutemen.
Illegal alien.
Let's go. Follow me. All right, load up.
What are they different? An alien
George
and a
was
difference
addicted to his
between a
chew.
crack cocaine
He
rock.
consumed the tobacco equivalent of 4 packs of cigarettes a
Really?
day.
I did not
A
know
good
what
day
that
for
meant,
George
and I
was to
kind of
drive
guessed it.
around with his cheeks bursting with
Really?
chew, looking for undocumenteds along the Arizona-Mexico border.
I've done.
40 miles of bad road can take a lot out of anyone. And on this day, old George hit a big rock. Ow! And bit down hard on his thick tongue.
What's going on? Been here a while. You all right? Going through. I'll be here. I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
But George wasn't all right. He didn't know he had it, and he sure couldn't pronounce it. But George had a genetic condition called erectile glossitis.
Erectile glossitis is a very rare condition which can cause severe swelling of the tongue in a matter of minutes. It can set off a very wild and uncontrolled inflammatory response.
It was like the opposite of anaphylactic shock. Instead of his throat swelling around his tongue filled up his throat. And within minutes, he experienced a horrible choking to death. George was a gun-toting, chewing, spitting ignoramus who thought his paranoid hatred of illegals was protecting his country. In the end, he did do his country a big favor by dying
What? Oh, is that a favorite? I need to see more of these, but I'm not, because I want y'all to see all of them. Maybe y'all can go like and subscribe to them.
Casey once had dreams of playing
And
in the big leagues.
all notifications.
You gonna play him that close?
I didn't ever drop
But
any
now he played
video,
slow pitch softball and just acted as if he was a hardballing pro.
I'm just gonna, if y'all don't like violence, then I'm saying I want.
Casey did anything to win,
my
including playing
intro.
through excruciating pain.
Yeah! Let's go!
The pain came from a hiatal hernia,
What?
a hole in the abdominal wall. A
Oh
hernia
no.
occurs when an organ or a fatty tissue squeezes through a weak spot in the surrounding muscle or connective tissue. But Casey didn't care about all this science. He just wanted another hit.
Alright, this one's going out. Jeez! God! Time!
His hernia had
nuts.
ruptured, and his small intestine was now protruding from his
Ew,
abdominal
don't
wall.
show me that.
Casey pushed his guts back into place.
Don't.
Let's do this. Play ball!
I can't watch.
And Casey struck out for good.
Someone call 911!
For good.
Our softball player pops out the
Did it
hernia that he has.
explode?
The intestines pop out. He tries to stuff it back in, but in so doing, he actually damaged the artery, which then, because of all the tension and force he's exerting, ruptured. He bled to death, essentially. No blood on the outside. But because of the uncontrollable hemorrhage on the inside of his body, he went from taking one powerful swing of the bat to being limp and dead on the baseball diamond floor.
If you ever have this feeling, don't.
Casey was
And
an
you see a
aggro
big bump in
softball
your stomach,
who lived by the
don't.
motto, no pain,
Push it in.
no
Go
gain.
to the doctor.
We have a new one
It's
for
gonna
him.
do what this.
No ruptured hernia, no death. You're out.
He's out. Out for the count. I'm surprised the video's still going on.
Mark, the one with the
Wonder if it
ponytail,
ends by
is a highly
itself.
sought-after corporate spy.
I guess I really
He's
like
been
this
hired
show.
to find
It's
out what he
interesting.
can about an upcoming corporate merger. This information will be worth millions
That
for
comes
his
from a whole
employer.
line of boards.
First thing, I can never finish that.
It's a two-man job, but his number two man fell out at the last minute. Mark had no choice but to enlist his idiot nephew.
I don't want any screw-ups. I'm not gonna screw up.
Corporate espionage is the stealing of private information for financial gain. Corporate spies are usually looking to steal information that would get them the jump on their competitors. Secrets of value could be anything like the results of what testing has been done on certain fashion.
Plant a bug in the ventilation shaft of the hotel suite where the meeting was to take place. He would enter through the exhaust duct. All Tony had to do was keep a
I can see
lookout.
better ways to
When
get
I
messed
tug
up
on the
like
rope 3
that.
times, you pull me